Hi, I am ThatPaulGuy, and it's Thursday. Thursday, February 6th, 2020. I can't believe the first month is already gone. There's been so much stuff going on. It's hard for me to explain, but anyway, I've got some changes, more changes that are coming up. I am doing some filming and stuff like that to try to get some other content going besides just Thursdays. I'm not back up to the point where I can post 2 videos a week yet, but I am going to get there. But in the meantime, we're going to start you out this week with space news. Oh, by the way, last week. We're going to start you out with space news today, as we always do. And 3 astronauts from 3 different space agencies landed in Kazakhstan early this morning. They are Christina Koch from NASA. They are Luca Parmentano from the European Space Administration. And Alexander Sfortsov from, he's a Russian cosmonaut, obviously from Russia, the space agency. So you've got 3 different astronauts from 3 different agencies all coming down together. Christina spent 328 days up in space. It's, I believe that's a record for a female astronaut, 328 days all at one time. Not to be outdone, this is Luca's second time. He and Alexander spent 201 days up there apiece this past time. Luca's second time, putting him at 367 total days. And also, not to be outdone, Alexander's been up 3 times now, and he has a total of 546 days in space on 3 different trips. So it says a lot for longevity up in space and weightlessness and stuff like that and how the body reacts. And it might also give us a little bit psychologically an idea of what to expect or what might be happening as we try to venture out further and further and maybe even take man to Mars. So the picture has all 6 astronauts that are on the ISS this morning. The 3 that we're talking about are the 3 on the right. It's a group picture. I couldn't find a picture of just them by themselves, but obviously there's no gravity. They can be oriented any way they want. They're the 3 on the right-hand side. In tech news today, a new app is to blame for the Democratic Caucus fiasco, I guess you could say, Monday evening. Usually those the totals are in, totaled up, speeches are given and all that stuff, and everybody's on their way home by 11 o'clock at night and on the way to New Hampshire. Well, this didn't happen, and in fact, it did not happen until about lunchtime the next day when results started coming in. And at the time I was writing this, only about 92% of results came in at all. It was pretty confusing and pretty upsetting for a lot of people because they just didn't know what was going on. As it turns out, the app was created by a company called Shadow Inc., which is funded by Acronym, which is a Democratic nonprofit. It should have gone off without a hitch. They tested it. There were some security concerns about hacking, but nobody foresaw anything like this. So it was quite the debacle, and everybody's still left scratching their head, and they had to go back and start trying to count things up manually, which was the old way. But obviously, you're an entire day behind, and was it a day late and a dollar short? It doesn't look good for the Democratic Party right now, and they're left scratching their head on the way to New Hampshire. So we'll see what happens there. And another interesting tech news story. I'm going to link it also. Popular Mechanics has a story about a hospital in the Hunan province in China where the outbreak of the coronavirus is happening, of them constructing an emergency hospital in 10 days. This hospital can treat about 1,000 people at a time. They've got footage of it where it's, you've got cranes going completely all, day and night and all that stuff, but they completed this emergency hospital and started helping people within 10 days time. Now that sounds like a major accomplishment, but China was actually a little bit upset with it. The province was a little upset because they were shooting for 6 days. 6 days to build a hospital to take care of an infectious outbreak, which is, that's insane, people. In gaming news, Rod Furgusson from the Coalition is now formally of the Coalition. The Coalition is the studio that brought you Gears 5 most recently, and Rod has been working in there for about 15 years or so. He's worked on a couple of different Gears projects, most recently the Gears 5 project. He has decided that he is going to be leaving, and next month he will be going to Blizzard. He will be going to Blizzard to head up the Diablo project there at Blizzard. So if Diablo, the next installment of Diablo, I guess Diablo 4 or whatever they decide to call it, ends up anywhere near as good as Gears 5, they're in good hands. but it sure is pretty sad to see him go, especially since he's the head of that project and really put a solid project out there and has for a number of years. So it's sad to see Rod go, but obviously he'll be heading up things over at Blizzard to put out a Diablo project, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Everybody ought to be pretty happy, I would think, except for the folks obviously making Gears of War. In other gaming news, do you have a computer that you've got some AAA titles but your computer won't play them? Or maybe your PC will play them but you're not always around where you can play them on your PC? Or maybe the closest thing you have is an Android device like a tablet or a phone, and you're just really jonesing for your games that are on your home PC. Well, NVIDIA might have you covered. NVIDIA GeForceNow is a new streaming service. This is not an ad for it. I'm just letting you know that it's out there. It started earlier this week. It was in beta for a little while, and they've got two different pricing tiers. They've got a free pricing tier that includes 1 hour of gameplay at a time, and it's all 60 frames per second, but I believe it's 1080p gaming, 60 frames per second, high quality settings. It all works on their servers. So as long as you have a high-speed internet connection, you should be able to log into here, and you don't have to buy any other games. If you own a Steam game or Origin or something like that, and they can verify that that data that you've already purchased that game, you can play it on NVIDIA GeForceNow. So the only holdout you would have, I believe they said the average lag time is about 20 milliseconds, which is it's pretty decent. That's enough to notice if you're in real heavy gaming, but not enough to make a big difference, and you should be able to get used to it pretty easily. They do have a tier that's $4.99 a month. It's probably an introductory price, but they've got a tier that's $4.99 a month that will allow you up to 6 hours of gameplay at a time. And if you've got an RTX video card, it will allow you to use ray tracing. Now, you do not have to have any, I'm letting you know, you don't have to have any super hardware to run these in ultra detail or fine detail or super high detail or anything like that. This is all run on NVIDIA software and streamed to whatever device you're using. So it'll run on PC, it will run on Mac, it'll run obviously Windows, it'll run on Mac, it'll run on a Unix system, it'll run on an Android system. So if all you have is a phone and you've got a joypad of some type, you can still play on your phone, which I thought was pretty incredible. But what really got me is that even with a crappy laptop that has no performance at all, if you can stream to that laptop with a high-speed internet connection, you can play high-quality AAA games on your laptop, which is pretty cool. It remains to be seen how this is all going to work out and everything, but it looks like it has that other streaming service. I'm not going to mention any Stadia names, but it looks like it has it beat pretty bad. And there's some people that are really happy, and there's some people that aren't really happy. But we'll have to see what comes out in the wash. But for right now, NVIDIA GeForceNow, I'm leaving a link for it down below. You can make up your own mind about it. I'm not going to try to push anybody one way or the other. I happen to have an NVIDIA card. I don't have any other streaming services besides just what I purchased digitally, so I haven't tried it yet. So you guys will have to let me know in the feedback. And finally, and you're kidding, right? An Ohio couple recently got a very large amount of mail due to a computer glitch. As it turns out, it was 55,000 pieces of mail from the same company or at the same time. The post office had to call them up and say, look, we've got no way to be able to deliver this to you. You're going to have to come pick it up. 55,000 pieces of mail, all identical, all the same statement from a company called College Avenue Student Loans. And it was a statement on the progress or whatever you might have, their monthly statement for their daughter's student loan account. The only problem with this is, of course, when they contacted the company, College Avenue Student Loans, to let them know, hey, look, what's the deal with this? They were explained that it was a computer glitch, but they were also told that the statement was wrong and would have to be mailed back out to them again, a corrected version. Let's hope it's not 55,000 more statements just with a correction. Something they probably could have done by email or over the phone, but 55,000 pieces of mail all at the same time due to a computer glitch, and they're all wrong. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, folks. I am really trying to work on some stuff, to do in the weekends in the meantime to fill in between the Thursdays, but I just haven't quite got back there yet. I'm going to make some. I'm going to make some progress. I really think I am. I'm going to try my best, but in the meantime, you're always welcome to share, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. The YouTube algorithm really likes it when you thumbs up, so please do that. And I'm still trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the month. So that's all I got, like I said. And until later. That's really all I got. So I'll see you later.